Hey, welcome Fort Wainwright. Colonel Nate Surrey, Garrison Commander. We have hit the 1-year mark for Arctic Vibes now, made the rotation across Fort Wainwright in all the different places that we have. Haven't hit everything, but we've tried to hit the big places like the ski hill, the golf course. Today we're at Outdoor Rec for the second time. And I think it's great because as we do this annual rotation, and if you take the time to watch these, it will educate you on all the different available opportunities that you have to recreate or experience not only Wainwright or Fort Wainwright or Fairbanks, interior Alaska. So I'm going to start with a couple hot topics. The first one is Army versus Air Force hockey game. This year, we've played 27 years. Actually, we played 26. This is the 27th. We are tied at 13 all for the record, and so our goal is to try to get the winning to have the winning record for the game. So last year we won. It's either 5-2 or 6-2, and it was played over at Carlson Center. This year it's at the Big Dipper out on the 28th, Saturday 28th. Puck drops at 6 p.m. You can come in as early as 5 p.m. Free admission for the game. So why wouldn't you come? You got food and drinks available for purchase there. It's going to be a wonderful event, and come out and support your Arctic Warriors from the 11th Airborne Division and whatnot to defeat the Eielson Icemen like we hope to do every year from here on out. So hope to see you there. Next note is a quick one, but it's going to be a little bit of pain. But thank gosh it's only 8 days. From 9 to 16 January, the second floor cardio area of the physical fitness center, not the track, the cardio area will be off limits because we're replacing the floor. 8 days. Track you can still use. Downstairs bike area is fine. All the rest of the PFC, you're good. But just wanted you to be aware that's the majority, that's all of MLK weekend. So that little area. Now, if you want to use cardio outside the weekends, you've also got Malavin Gym, a little bit over at Wolf Slayer. Even a little bit over at the Last Frontier Community Activity Center, too, that has a few machines over there. And the USO. The USO has a gym available during the week also. So little things that people don't know about. The reason we're doing that, we could have shut down the whole area at once, but we're not. We're pocketing our improvements in the gym on purpose, so it's less impact all at once. So this summer sometime, we're going to resurface the track itself. But we're doing it this summer on purpose, so you're able to run outside. Makes sense, right? The ice rink is getting close. The concrete has been poured. They're going to start making ice in the next week or so, and we plan to transition that over to us early to mid-February to start, ice skating in the afternoons or whatnot for the kiddos and the family if you want to rent ice skates. And then in the mornings, we're going to allow it to be used for PT, for Army units, for broomball or hockey, and for our hockey team when they want to practice. So a couple of notes about the PFC there. Next one is the good news for MLK weekend is all 4 days, Friday through Monday, the ski hill will be open. Of course, pending temperatures, so let's pray for continued great weather like we've been having, positive temperatures. I think it was 9 degrees yesterday. That's about a 50-degree swing, almost 60-degree swing from a few weeks ago. So that's wonderful. But all 4 days it'll be open, 11 to 1800 each day, the ski hill. And as Rick will talk about later, our MWR Director, tubing is planned to open up on Monday the 16th. And we'll get into the reasons why that was delayed later. So hope to see you on all that. All right, that finishes up for the hot topics, and we're going to transition now into our first guest. Hey, today is exciting. I'm here with our new Family and MWR Director, Rick Bosch. So, Rick, welcome.
Good to be here, sir.
And here you're going to find out he's not a stranger. So, we're very, very fortunate to get him on our team. So, Rick, again, welcome. And just to start off, what experience do you have overall that you bring to our community here?
Well, sir, I haven't always worked for MWR. I actually went to college to become a teacher, have a lot of experience working with and youth populations, and then I got into municipal community recreation. Fell in love with outdoor recreation, that the classroom is the world surrounding us, and bringing programs out to communities, and had a unique opportunity to take my outdoor recreation skills and transition that into corporate team building and leadership development. So in MWR, I've had a chance to be a community rec division chief, which was my wheelhouse, business operations division chief, really learning the idiosyncrasies of running business style operations, NAF support chief to learn the back of the house, to learn the financials inside and out. And for the last 7 years, I've been a director of family in MWR.
7 years, and you come from Japan.
I was 4.5 years out in Japan, which very much like the Alaskan environment is a significantly geographically separated community. I'm used to running operations that are separated like that.
Well, that's great. And then you were here, correct?
Yes, sir. This is my second time at Fort Wainwright. I came to Fort Wainwright as a NAF support chief, and that's where I really learned the NAF financials, the internal controls that we need in our operation, the marketing aspects, the warehousing and central storage, as well as much as I could, the IT components of everything we do with a lot of the unique software we use, even though I'd be lying to you if I told you I fully understand IT, because that's another language that I've only partially.
Nobody understands IT unless you're IT.
This is correct,
That's it.
sir. But I know how to help them, and how
right.
most of our unique point of sales systems and reservation systems work. Did have a chance to be acting director out here at Wainwright. I was heavily involved in the planning and securing the funds for the new ski lodge, which was one of the first places I stopped at coming back, because I saw it on paper, and a couple of years later I finally got to see it in person, and that is such an incredible asset that we've got for our community now, and not just to support the ski season we're having, but that's an asset that's going to support a multitude of programming in the spring, the summer, and fall, and the off season as well.
Well, and I want to put a plug in real quick to our staff on the ski season. You know, we have a major project going in again for the ski hill in the next year to year and a half. Well, actually next year will be a little bit more repair, and then a full gutting and replacement of the snowmaking capability. And what that team went through to get that ski hill ready for this year, limping that system across the finish line, was, you know, the community just does not understand that. It was, and these are folks that were coming across the whole directorate, volunteering, worked 24 hours a day, roughly 10 days to get the amount of snow that needed up there. Soon we're going to be opening up this tubing the weekend of the 16th, I believe. So
Yes,
week.
sir. Right now,
Yep.
the team has been spending a bunch of time carving out the tubing trails, moving snow to support it. We are working on doing the safety checks, and it is our anticipation, as long as the weather holds out, to get open for the holiday on the 16th, and then moving forward from that, looking to have operational hours on Saturdays and Sundays. And what we're going to offer is 2 sessions, each a 3-hour block of time on both days. So that's going to bring a new dynamic to the ski hill that we haven't seen in a while, and hopefully invite in a different population of folks that
Right.
may not have had a chance to go out there and do some outdoor recreational programming. The age limit is 5 and above out there, so it's a great family activity to go out and bring some younger kids to that may not be ready to try skiing or snowboarding yet.
No, it's a blast, and you don't need any equipment other than what you're wearing. You just have to have good warm clothes, and then it's fairly, you know, I think much less risky than being on that ski hill. I know that from personal experience. And it's, like you said, young kids, it's great for them. And the reason we have the different time periods, just so people know, is we have to limit the amount that are on the tubing lane so that our lines aren't too congested. Otherwise, if we don't limit it and we have a big rush, you'll be waiting in line for 20, 30 minutes. We're trying to avoid the Disney World thing.
Absolutely, sir. I think coming out there, we want all the families to enjoy that experience and get the most out of it.
Yep.
And for each one of the sessions in the past, we traditionally do sell out. So I encourage families for each session to show up a little bit early.
Yep.
And if you come in the first session of the day a little bit late and we're sold out, we can register you for the second session, have a chance to hang out in the lodge, grab some food, watch the skiers and snowboarders, and come out and join us shortly.
Okay, well, that's good. That's great news for the ski hill. I just wanted to put that plug up there because the reason it hasn't opened prior is just literally the staff was so skeleton that just to get the ski hill open and operational was the emphasis. Now we've got a few more people on board, a little more breathing room. Now we can open it up, and so that transition, we'll transition into that's so important here in a little bit. Let's see. So the next question, with all the quality of life construction projects on, the CDC 3 that's going to open, next winter, probably February timeframe of 24. You've got the Aquatic Center that broke ground this summer, the Community Activity Center, all that's over by the PFC, the hotel area, broke ground this summer. Those two will open up summer of 24. That's a lot, right? The ski lodge just opened up last year. We got the Rod and Gun Club what will happen is when the new Community Activity Center is finished, we'll immediately transition the old bowling alley, start flipping that into an indoor shooting, archery, like small arms, archery, and axe throwing complex with food and beverage. This is a ton. When I talk to my counterparts across the Army, and rightfully so, we're getting what we're due, but they are very jealous because they're not getting, and because you were in Japan, no one is getting anything close, even the big bases. So the money's flowing, and I kind of basically threw out all the updates for you. But so the question is, I'll transition to this one, is what are the challenges that you're having, that you see that you're having, that you want to voice to the community?
A couple of challenges, sir. One you kind of just hit is we've got 24 both small and big projects happening at the exact same time with limited bandwidth on all angles. These projects, even though at the end of the day they're going to be under the MWR portfolio, are not projects that myself and my team are singularly advancing. It takes the entire Garrison community, from DPW, the Corps of Engineers, safety, fire, to advance them, and we've got a certain amount of bandwidth. So we've kind of got to rack and stack these projects. They can't all open in the winter of 24 or the summer of 24. But our challenge is to continue working through these projects and get the doors open while balancing keeping the programs and the facilities that are out there open to the community. The single biggest challenge the Directorate is facing right now is not a challenge that we are only seeing in MWR. It's a critical shortage in staffing. We're seeing that across both City of Fairbanks, the state of Alaska, and in a large part in the lower 48. Because of a lot of economic turns, the COVID impact, it is harder and harder to fill the roles. So right now as a directorate, we've been averaging about 65% staffed. With a lot of things we do, there's life, health, safety requirements, whether it's operating the ski hill or taking care of the kids in the CDC, that we are not flexible on, and we're going to meet 100% of the time. So what the community has been seeing, and until we get a little healthier, may continue to see, is some of our operational hours flexing a little bit and surging, so we can take portions of staff from one operation that may not be in seasonal demand as much to bring it to an other operation that is in high demand. Ski Hill is a really good example. For us to remain operational on the weekends, we are pulling staff from about 8 other facilities every single weekend, training them, introducing them to the operations to stay operational. As the ski hill stays busy, there may be a little fluctuation in other facilities. Now, if anybody is looking for probably the best career in the world, I've got so many opportunities to bring new team members on board, give them training, the skill set they need to really build a career off of. As mentioned earlier, my career has been extremely diversified. I went from kind of like the folks in our outdoor rec facility here, running ropes course and canoes trips, to learning how to manage hotels, restaurants, bars, run a marketing department. There's so many different directions and avenues that MWR careers and even Garrison careers can take you. It's a great career. So we've got everything from flexible positions. If you've only got a couple of hours a week you want to make a couple of bucks on, help the community out, to some part-time positions, which are great for students and spouses, to some full-time positions in a bunch of exciting areas. So as we build these roles and as we open up these new programs, we're going to see amazing things happening for this community, which I am beyond excited about.
A lot of great opportunities.
And sir, for the military spouses out there, one of the best things about working an MWR job is this job is transferable through the rest of your soldier's career.
That's right.
We've got systems and mechanisms that as soon as your PCS orders come, we can connect you with our counterparts at your inbound garrison. The 2 civilian personnels will transfer the paperwork over, and you can continue to grow your career.
Which is pension, retirement, all that, depending on where you're sitting on the scale, if you're full-time or whatnot. So, yeah, well, Rick, I can't thank you enough, and we are happy as heck to have you on board. I mean that sincerely. And already seen vast amounts of positive influence in our resource-constrained environment, as we talked about. So thank you so much for everything.
Sir, me and my family are very happy to be back. Thank you.
Hey, Fort Wainwright, the MWR has lots of exciting special events coming up, brought to you by Army Entertainment as well as Armed Forces Entertainment. We do have our Headphone Disco, which will be at Warrior Zone at 7 p.m. If you've never seen a headphone disco, it's a super cool silent disco where everyone wears headphones, and you get to choose from about 6 different channels of different music that will be playing all night. If you do pre-register, the first 50 people who pre-register will get a $5 voucher to be used for food and beverage that night at the Warrior Zone. The following week on the 20th, which is a Friday of January, we will be hosting the If That Was Me game show over at the Last Frontier Community Center at 6 o'clock. They have tons of awesome prizes happening. It is lots of audience interaction at this event, and it will be Friday, January 20th at the Last Frontier. Looking forward into February, we do have lots more exciting events coming up. We do have our NFL Cheerleaders Clinic coming up on a Saturday. We do have the NFL Super Bowl coming up on Sunday as well. And we also will have Nellie's Echo out here, as well as country line dancing coming here in 2023 in February. Thanks, guys.
All right, Fort Wainwright, we're back again. And here today I have with me Cathy Dimon, who works for the Yukon Quest, which is one of the neatest races, dog mushing races we have up here in Alaska. That and the Iditarod are the 2 that you hear a lot about. And so without further ado, Cathy, welcome.
Thank you.
So the first one is, generally, just what's the overall route? Where does it start and finish? And about how many dog teams are going to be involved?
So our routes are 3 different, they're all running the traditional Yukon Quest Trail to different points. So our feature race is a 550-mile race that starts in Fairbanks. We'll go out to Eagle along the traditional trail. From Eagle, they're going to drop down, instead of crossing the border, they're going to drop down to Chicken, and then they're going to come into Tok for the finish. Wow. Our 300-mile race is going to go from Fairbanks out to Central and then on to Circle. They're going to turn around in Circle, and they're going to come back to Central to finish. And then we have an 80-mile fun run that's going to run from Fairbanks to Two Rivers. They'll have a 6-hour layover in Two Rivers, and then they can come back to Fairbanks for their finish.
And then what are the dates, the different dates?
February 4th is our start date. Starts at 11 o'clock. It'll be down at the Morris Thompson Cultural and Visitor Center. And they'll go out at 3-minute intervals.
And that's for the 500?
All of them. They'll all go out that day.
Oh, wow.
550 miles is the feature race all the way to Tok.
What's the time frame?
About 6 days.
They're obviously spending the night in the field with their dogs.
Absolutely.
Like, it's not going into a nice heated room. It's dogs laying in the snow.
For the most part, we do have 6 checkpoints along the way. So each of the checkpoints, we do have the availability for the mushers to come in out of the cold.
Right.
Not the dogs, but the mushers will be able to come in out of the cold and warm up and eat and dry their gear and that kind of thing. That is available in the checkpoints.
Okay.
But if you look at just the Circle to Eagle checkpoint, it's 160 miles.
Wow.
That they're going to be on the Yukon River by themselves with their team, and they have to deal with it. They have
Right.
to deal with what comes along. They all have trackers. They all have the spot GPS trackers. So if they get in trouble, they can hit their GPS and we'll send a team out to get them. But for the most part, they're on their own.
Single person on their own with a dog team.
With a dog team of anywhere up to 14 dogs.
Do they resupply for the food along the checkpoints?
Each of our checkpoints, they can have what we call drop bags.
Mhm.
They supply those to us. So what they want for gear in those at each checkpoint to move forward, and then they pull that at the checkpoint. They can take what they want with them. They can take the whole bag with them, and on they go.
I'll tell you, it's fascinating to me because I can't think of too many other sporting events that are as harsh and require so much resilience in a very intense fashion.
Absolutely.
over a week. Per se.
Right. Yes.
Incredible.
The planning.
How
is
many
amazing.
mushing teams do you think total?
We've got about 37 total so far,
37.
with more coming in. We have 15 in the 500 and the 550. We have 3 in the 300 and 18 in the 80 right now.
Wow. Okay. Okay. So the next question is, they're going to run right down the Chena River, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So for the Fort Wainwright community, this is a big deal. Obviously, the Chena River runs right smack through the middle on the north side of Fort Wainwright. And so, like last year, when we did the Yukon Quest, it was my first time, this time up at Fort Wainwright. I saw it 20 years ago. But a lot of families go right on the river because it is generally safe. Generally is the key here. You do definitely need to know where you're at on the river. There are places on the Chena River that don't actually even freeze over in places in town. We're usually pretty safe for the most part on Fort Wainwright, but if you are going to do that, just be very cautious. A lot of people don't actually go on the river, they stay off the bank, but you can go down there with your family, properly clothed, of course, ready to be able to warm up quick depending on the temperatures, because we could drop again and be in the negative 30s and 40s before we know it. But it is a blast to watch these teams come down. Is there any precautions? Is it okay for families to bring their dogs with them down on the river?
No.
Okay, I
We
didn't
caution
think so.
against dogs.
Okay.
You take the risk of a dog team that is a cohesive working unit getting off track. And one, we don't want that to happen. We don't want that team to get off track because they're on a mission. But we also don't want other dogs, personal family pets, to get hurt in the process either. The good part is most of the mushers have teams that are trained against those distractions. Right. However, there is the off chance that we warn against it to prevent that. Great
point. Okay, so volunteers, if there's anybody that's interested in helping out with this race, because it is a wonderful community event, and it's truly is one of those things that's Alaska.
You can't get much more.
So it would be great for anybody in our community that wants to volunteer. How could they do that?
So there's several different ways you can do that. You can go online to our website, yukonquestalaska.com, to go to our volunteer page and fill out a volunteer form there. That will get you into our system. You'll then get notifications of when we need volunteers. We're also getting ready to go live with our online sign up with all of our different positions available. You don't have to be an outdoors person to help with the quest. We have indoor positions that you can, answer phones, you can do things like that inside, or you can go out to a checkpoint and be all in and be a checker at the checkpoint.
Well, that's great, because it gives you a lot of flexibility, because if you don't want to stand out in the extreme temperatures.
A lot of people are not as outdoorsy as some of us.
No, I got you. Getting those negative 100 boots on, and it takes a lot to stand outdoors for a while. So. Okay, and then a follow-up question, it's probably the same as, is there any other way they can support the race besides volunteering?
You can become a member. We have memberships available. Memberships have benefits, of course, for all of our members. You get pins, you get patches, you get posters, things like that. while you're here in, doing your tour, you can also come down to our general membership meeting and be a part of our general membership meeting every year. And then we're also starting, members are going to get discounts on coming to the banquets, coming to the events, and things like that.
We actually, I don't know if you knew this, you probably did, and I apologize if I'm stating this, or you already knew it, but Matt Sproul, one of our DPW environmental outstanding employees, ran it last year.
He did.
Is he running?
He's on our trail crew this year.
Is he? Oh,
Yeah.
sure. Outstanding.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna link up with him and make sure
He's been awesome.
Yeah, that's incredible. Well, is there anything else you want to add, Kathy?
Help us as much as you can.
Okay.
If you've got time and you want something to do, contact us.
All right. Well, thanks,
We'll
Kathy.
find a place for you.
I truly, truly appreciate it.
We appreciate it.
Wonderful event. Team, at a minimum, go out and watch. And if you can find the time to help in even a small way, it's great to connect with our community, and one of the most Alaskan things that you can do.
Absolutely.
So, thanks, Kathy.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, team, we are now back with another wonderful member of our MWR team, Devlin Neuhaus. How you doing?
I'm well, yourself?
I'm doing great. Thanks for being here with us. And he is Assistant Director for our Outdoor Recreation, and that's where we're here today, is Outdoor Recreation, as stated earlier. So, Devlin, what are some of the trips that you have planned this winter?
So they vary in all different levels. So we have the Adrenaline Junkie, the snow machine trips. We have ice fishing, as you can see behind us. We do glacier hikes. We do snow shoeing, cross-country skiing trips, just regular hiking trips. There's women in the wilderness trips. We've done a few family trips so far this year, so we can get a whole family together and go do something. There's also a hike and soak that's coming up. I think it's next month up at Chena Hot Springs Resort.
Yeah, as soon as you said soak, I'm thinking polar bear, or are we talking
No,
hot
not
springs?
yet. That's in March.
No, that's great. So how do we like sign up? How sign up? But how do they just go to the MWR website?
So
to see where the different
we're
trips?
working on advertising better, and so hopefully eventually those will be better posted on our websites. But we can come into Outdoor Rec and we have a book sitting on the counter that you can flip through. Whatever day falls within your leave or days off, you can see if there's something available. And then you can just sign up directly with the staff here.
Okay, so there's a schedule, and then can you also, for planned events that you can sign up for, can we do tailored individual ones?
To an extent. There are like a boss event that's kind of a tailored event for boss. We do those. The family snow machine trip was a catered.
Yeah.
It just depends on what you're looking for and whether or not we can actually facilitate.
Nope, I got it. Well, that's a lot of variety. Fat bike trips,
Yep,
that's
fat
another
bikes,
one. Right,
yep.
and we've got a few of those behind here as the tires are about this wide and grip the snow pretty well if it's a packed trail. It's a lot of fun. So what does the customer need to do in order to rent equipment because if it's on a trip, you're going to take care of all that.
Correct.
But if it's a non-trip, they just want to come down and get the cross-country skis, the snowshoes, heaters, ice fishing gear. What do they have to do?
So we're really looking for your DOD ID. We're going to set you up with a household in our computer system. And then at that point, you can sign up for your programs or rent whatever you want.
So let's hit one more topic. Let's hit Warrior Venture Quest, the program. Can you give us a little understanding of what that's all about? Because a lot of soldiers don't know what this is.
Okay, so the Warrior Venture Quest is to get cohesion for your unit as a whole. And within that, you're on a platoon level, can sign up for an activity here, which is completely funded through magical Army money. And that you can do kind of a more high adventure type of event. So whether that's ice climbing, snowmobile trips, we've done reball, which is paintball but with rubber balls. We do that inside during the summer or in the winter time. Summertime we do paintball would be another one. That kind of thing, so then you guys can get a little bit more interaction as a unit.
So the bottom line is fully funded.
Yep.
Unit doesn't pay.
Doesn't.
It's centered around the platoon size element. Any
Yes.
bigger than that is not very doable because of equipment and
Logistics, yeah.
So platoon size elements or smaller, they can do it once a year
Correct.
per platoon, fully funded. And
Doesn't
it's-
cost them a dime.
Right, and so the unit, the platoon leader or the company commander, platoon sergeant, whatever level, comes down here, coordinates with
Reaches
you,
out.
and you develop the trip
Yep.
and the concept, and that's it. So I just, for the troops that are out there, go talk to your leadership, or if the leaders are on here, get down here and plan these trips, whether it's winter or summer. It's a free unit cohesion opportunity that many are not taking advantage of.
Correct.
It's so, I don't know how much more I can say other than come down here and take advantage of it. So Devlin,
In that, I mean, if you don't mind me saying,
Yeah.
if your unit has a different idea, just because this
Yeah.
isn't cookie cutter. So if we have the abilities, we might be able to make something work.
that's what I like about it.
So-
it's like dry erase board.
Yep.
What can we do? Which makes it even better. So again, that's just for soldiers though, right?
Correct.
Not family members.
Correct.
It's a unit thing. I just want to make sure we are clear on that. But again, fully funded, pretty amazing. Well, I can't thank you enough for what you do down here. All the equipment that you have to maintain, and our customers do a really good job generally of taking care of it when they return it. But it's a huge job, and it brings a lot of joy to a lot of people by having all these opportunities. So thank you for everything you do.
Thank you.
All right. All right, team, we're back to close out this 12th event for Arctic Vibe for the calendar year. Our next one will be in February, it'll air in February, but we'll be taping it live 26 January at the Warrior Zone. So if you want to come see it then, that'd be great. As always, little plug for our MWR team, since we're here at Outdoor Rec. The ski hill is open Friday through Sundays, and the MLK, as I stated several times in the program, it'll be open all 4 days. We plan to do the same thing for President's Day. And then during spring break week, it'll be open the entire week also. Tubing opens up, as I said, on Monday of MLK weekend. Wonderful opportunity for smaller kids or family that want to rent the ski gear. You just got to be dressed in warm clothes, jump in a tube, and have a blast. And they do kind of fly down the hill. So hope to see a lot of people out there for that. Another plug for staffing, if you want a job, MWR's got it. So you can go to our employment assistance area with ACS, Army Community Service. You can contact anybody at MWR and they'll point you in the right directions to show you the roughly 70, 80 jobs that are available across the post in a variety of areas to work for our team, because we need you. You provide the majority of our labor already, and we need more. Because as you know, we're at 65%, trying to grow that into the 80s so we can have more hours for our pool, for our ski hill, for our gyms, you name it. The hours are based on staffing. So Hope to see some more folks come out to help us out. Again, as always, we're in the winter months. So get outside, enjoy it, especially when the sun's up, whether you're snowmobiling, whether you're cross-country skiing, snowshoeing, ice fishing, ice climbing, and the list goes on and on and on. If you get outside, you will be a happier person. Take care and be safe.